Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Merely on Time Watch Reviews. I'm Chris. I unbox and review budget watches, and today I am taking a look at the Islander watch. This is ISL 200, their Bethpage American chronograph. As usual, you're getting a really well-spec'd out, well-made watch by Islander Watches. My thanks goes out to Ryan and Mark for loaning this watch to me. I've had it way too long. I did the unboxing like a couple months ago, and finally getting to the review of this one. As always, a great watch from Long Island Watches. Up ahead here of the introduction, the up close and personal of this watch. Enjoy. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the up close and personal of this watch. And as always, I just want to go over the basic specs of the watch and my likes and gripes about this watch. And as you can see, I think this is an absolutely beautiful watch. I love the silver sunburst dial that they have on this, and lots of nice contrast, lots of nice eye candy to have a look at. As you can see, it is just a quartz watch, but this is an American made, American assembled watch, and an American movement in the watch. So as you can see, they have taken, I should say, some influence from a Speedy. You can see that with the style of bracelet that is on the watch, as well as the case and the shape and the finishing, very much reminiscent of the Omega Speedmaster, obviously with the chronograph. And they call this the Bethpage because this is named after the town where the Apollo lunar module was built. And so on the back of or not the back, but on the clasp of the watch, you can see that they have the lunar module there. And so that's pretty cool, etched in. And so let's just take a walk around this watch for just a moment. It's all 316L stainless steel, with the exception of the bezel. You do have a push-pull crown that is branded there with the Islander logo. The bracelet itself is really, really nice. Obviously, it's taken inspiration from a Speedy bracelet. Nice rounded tops on the links, polished sides, all brushed on the top. You do have a nice milled clasp with a fold-over security and 2 buttons to deploy it. And you can see the milled clasp there. It does have this interesting feature of having an exhibition case back for the movement. This is just a quartz movement, as you can see, but there is at least some nice gold plating on that movement. And it is somewhat interesting to have a look at, but there were plenty of people who commented that why have a display case back on a quartz watch? It is a chronograph watch, so you have 3 subdials, which is typical of a chronograph watch. At the 3 o'clock, you've got the 24-hour subdial. Now, one really neat thing about this one is they have inverted it, and so the daytime hours are on the top, nighttime hours are on the bottom. And so as you can see, we are at 10:30 a.m. Because it's in the white, and it does make a nice contrast, another little bit of eye candy to look at on the dial. Your running seconds hand for the chronograph is at the 6 o'clock on the 6 o'clock subdial, and the minute counter for the chronograph, 60 minutes, is on the 9 o'clock there. Now, the nice thing about this one is when the seconds hand reaches the top, the seconds hand or the minute hand for the chronograph will tick once instead of just gradually moving over to its next marker. Nice to see the minute track around both of the subdials, making the chronograph very much legible. And so they've done a really nice job of this. You can see on the outside you have a ceramic bezel, which is a fixed bezel with the 24-hour markings on it every 5 minutes as well as every minute. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second as well. So let's just get Super Cali out to give you a reminder of the dimensions. Now, the website at Long Island Watch says that this is a 40 by 20. So you got 20 millimeters for a lug distance there. Now, the case says it's 40, but if I measure just above the chronograph pusher to the other side, I'm getting about 42 millimeters. And same as if I try and get in between, the pusher here. You're looking at about a 42 millimeter case or width from this point to this point, not 40, so no biggie there. It is going to be 14 millimeters thick. Make sure I'm zeroed out here. Yeah, so 42, 14, 20 millimeters at the lugs. We'll see if we have a bit of taper. I can't recall if we do. So yeah, 18, 17 and a half tapers too. And then you'll get back up to just around 20 millimeters at the clasp. And so, yeah, you have, let's just look at the dial real quick. Sapphire crystal covering the dial, beautiful brushed silver dial. You can see it there. I did have a shot in the up close and personal of it on wrist. Really nice contrast on this. Red chapter ring on the outside, contrasted against the black there, leading into that brushed silver dial and those beautiful subdials. Islander Amerigraph printed on the dial along with the Islander logo. Those indices are applied, and there is plenty of lume filling those indices and the hour and the minute hand as well. It is a chronograph, as mentioned, obviously, and you just have to utilize the chronograph by pushing the top pusher. In this case, I'll be stopping the time, and the bottom one will reset it. And it just resets fairly quickly. So I like that about this movement. Kind of a fairly quick reset. It doesn't go around and around and around as far as retracing the minutes on that subdial. It just zeroes out, which is nice. Another unique feature, I think, is that lollipop seconds hand, which you can see going around there. And if you are paying attention, it does hit all of the marks pretty well right on. Nice polish finish on those, on the metal, on the hour and the minute hand. And so you are looking at a really, really nice piece. And if you remember all of the hype about the Omega Swatch, a bit of a crazy hype around there, and they released this watch not too long after that, and for $349 US, you're getting, as always, a well-built watch from Long Island Watch. Really nice satin finishing on the side of the case. and you do have a transition there to the top of some brushing on there. A nice polished ring on the underside of that bezel at the top. Ceramic bezel, as I mentioned. The links are solid. You have solid end links, not quick release. I wish it had quick release. I wish they all did, but you do have screw pins for adjusting the bracelet. Very, very easy to adjust the bracelet on this one, and you do get a super comfortable fit. Now the loom, as always on Mark's watches, is fantastic. Have a look at the loom shot now. Now, just a reminder with regards to loom that is really, really good or great lasts 20 plus minutes on the time lapse. And you can see on this time lapse video that the loom lasts all the way up to the 30-minute mark. So plenty of loom on this watch, which is wonderful. And I'm not sure if I mentioned that sapphire crystal also has an AR undercoating. So great job with legibility on that in the bright sun or various lighting conditions. And that sunburst dial is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so another real hit, I think, by Long Island Watches, but there are some likes and there are some gripes. I think my absolute like about this watch is that beautiful silver sunburst dial. Really think it is sharp, plays in the light very, very nicely. I love a chronograph watch. They've done a great thing with these subdials, and I really like that inverted 24-hour subdial. Just something different, and it actually makes some use out of a 24-hour subdial, or makes it more usable as far as I'm concerned. Love the black and red contrast on those subdials. Love the bold minute track around each of those subdials for the seconds and the minutes, so that you are going to get an accurate read on your chronograph. And the ceramic bezel is a nice touch. Of course, you got a branded crown, and so this is just, again, a solid watch. And it looks fantastic. It wears really, really comfortably on the wrist, really nice and balanced. So this is just overall absolutely bloody fantastic. But there are, as usual, a few gripes that I have with the watch. I will say that the pushers, they don't click. They're a little spongy. And when you do push it, sometimes it doesn't engage the chronograph. Like, you can give her a good push, and sometimes it just doesn't engage the chronograph. I'm trying to show you an example of this, pushing it, and see there, it just didn't go. So you really got to give it a good push. There's no clicks. So it's just the way, and then you see I just tried to reset it, and it didn't want to reset that first push. So it does take a little bit of a push to make contact in there with the movement for the seconds hand to be utilized. And so I don't like the action on these pushers. They're fine, but I prefer clicks. And so at any rate, you get the point there. The other minor gripe that I would have, there's two, and these are just personal preferences. The Lollipop seconds hand, I just think it kind of looks a little bit awkward. I just think it looks a little bit awkward. Just not something I'm used to looking at. The other minor gripe that I have, I think would have made this watch even better, is instead of having a 24-hour ring around the bezel, another 12-hour and then a rotating bezel, so that you could also use it, maybe a 24-click bezel or even a 12-click bezel, that you can use it as a second time zone. As it stands, the 24-hour, you already have a 24-hour subdial. Why have 24 hours on the bezel? I'm just not sure what the thought was in regards to that. So that's what I think of this Islander watch. I would love to hear in the comments below what you guys think of this. Of course, we're going to conclude with that loom shot. Absolutely. Oh no, we already did the loom shot. we'll conclude with the wrist shot. And yeah, here it is. And so here it is on wrist, and you'll have to forgive me. I put the links back in because I'm going to be sending this back to Mark and Ryan. But boy, hugs the wrist beautifully and looks really, really sharp. Obviously with those rounded links at the top. Just a beautiful, beautiful looking watch. Just have a look at that. Really, what can you expect from these guys at Long Island Watch? Just great watches. And this is a great watch, notwithstanding some of the quirks that I had, which well, for the most part are subjective in nature. And so for $349, you're getting a fantastic piece overall, as usual, from Long Island Watch. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And hey, did you know Merely on Time has a website? It does. Go check out my website, www.merlyontime.com. It's in the process of being built, but I have some of the watches that I want to sell on there. And so if you're looking for a nice watch, I've got some really nice watches on my website for sale. So please go check them out. So thanks for tuning in to another video, guys. Be sure to go check out longislandwatch.com and their Islander brand of watches. You're going to love them. And make sure you have a great looking piece to wear on your wrist whenever you leave your house. And remember, wherever you're going, to get there on time. Oh, what a beauty. Have a look at that. Okay, guys, God bless. We'll see you in the next video.